Hi, this is Don Tapscott, and I'm very excited about the Horizon Project, and I'm happy to try and be helpful in any way that I can. I think this is a time of great change, that we have a new generation of young people, the children of the baby boom, and these kids, roughly aged 11 to almost 30, are the first generation to grow up in digital. And young people today are different. My generation watched 24 hours of television, and you watch a lot less TV and you watch it differently. Rather than being the passive recipients of someone else's media, you're the actors, the initiators, the readers, the writers, the viewers, the organizers and scrutinizers and collaborators. And biggest generation ever. And as you come into the workforce and the marketplace, you're an unprecedented force for change. I started studying this generation about a dozen years ago when I noticed how my own children were effortlessly able to use all this sophisticated technology. And at first I thought my children were prodigies, but then I noticed that all their friends were like them, so that was a bad theory. So I started working with about 300 kids, and I wrote the book Growing Up Digital. My new book, which comes out in the fall, is called Grown Up Digital, as this generation now are becoming young adults, and they're changing every institution in society. One of the most important institutions that needs change is the education system. You know, if somebody was frozen 100 years ago and they miraculously woke up today and looked at the professions, a doctor in an operating theater, a pilot flying a jumbo jet, an engineer designing a bridge, they'd think, wow, has the world ever changed? And technology has been at the heart of these changes. If they walked into a typical classroom or lecture theater at a university, they'd breathe a sigh of relief and say, well, at least I recognize this. The model of pedagogy has remained unchanged for centuries, arguably. And it's a model that's inappropriate for this generation. It's one way, it's teacher-focused. It's one size fits all, and the student is isolated in the learning process. We can move to a new model that's multi-way, that's student-focused, that's highly customized to the needs of the individual learner, and where learners get to collaborate in the educational process. Technology is important to this, but it's not all about technology. This is basically a change in the relationship between students and teachers in the learning process. And it's a wonderful thing for teachers because it frees them up from being transmitters of data to being someone who structures a learning experience that, exploits the web. But it's also, of course, a wonderful thing for learners. And what we find out is that the young people who have access to this kind of environment learn better. They become more engaged. There's better learning performance. There's even better test performance. And there is a role for testing, not the obsessive role that we have today where we're teaching a generation of young people to perform well on tests as opposed to be able to think and solve problems and communicate and put things in context and learn lifelong, which is really what's required for a knowledge economy. So congratulations on the great work that you're doing. Keep it up. There's nothing more important today that I can think of than transforming our model of learning for relevance and for effectiveness for the 21st century. I hope you enjoy my book, Wikinomics, and that it's helpful. And I look forward to Grown Up Digital, coming to a bookstore or an online bookstore near you sometime in the fall. Thanks very much.